You're listening to After the Review with Peter and Terrell. New episodes of our podcast are available every Tuesday afternoon on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. If you like our content, remember to comment, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the episode. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is After the Review with Peter and Terrell. I'm your host, Peter, and with me, as always, is my man, Terrell. Terrell, how was your weekend?
Weekend was great. It was a wonderful weekend. I was down in Portland on Saturday, watched a little hoops, Blazers, Bucks. Saw Giannis Antetokounmpo up close and personal. Very huge guy, cut up, kind of skinnier than I thought he would be. So I saw all that stuff. It's behind the scenes.
Little inside journalism for us. I like it. Doing big journalism.
Trying to bring the pod something new. But behind the scenes, saw it all. Watched Melo warm up a little bit, some of that good stuff, and then Sunday the Chiefs played, and boy was that roller coaster. But overall, my weekend was great. And how about you, Pete?
Not great. Watched a lot of football. We'll talk about why it wasn't so great for me. But let's hop into the national championship that just finished up. LSU kind of finished a historic run. It kind of felt like their year, and they took care of Clemson 42-25. And, man, Joe Burrow was impressive, wasn't he?
Yeah, Joe Burrow was really impressive. One of my friends, texted and said, "It's got to be the greatest season from a quarterback in collegiate history." And I don't think I'm disagreeing with him at all. What Joe Burrow has done this year is absolutely phenomenal, and what LSU did this year is great too. I mean, I think also they played like 7 or 8 top 20 teams.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. They're one of the all-time great teams I think you got to consider. Yeah. They beat everybody. No soft scheduling, strong non-conference, the best division in college football, arguably in the SEC West. And they won a lot of games on the road, too. They went on the road to beat teams, not just playing at home. So super, super impressive stuff by the Tigers. And you feel great for Edo, don't you? Like, USC kind of hoed him when he took over as the interim. And, God had other plans for Edo, and he was right where he needed to be. And you see why they fired Les Miles.
No, that's true, yeah. Because this is what LSU fans are expecting. LSU administration, everybody's like, we've had these players in our system for a long time. Like they've never really had
a quarterback like this, but yes.
No, but
around
LSU,
it, yes.
They should have been able to recruit a quarterback or develop a quarterback like this. And I always see I think we talk about this all the time, but it's like, we look up guys and oh crap, he went to LSU too.
It's always popping up on Sundays, right?
It's always popping up on Sundays, and these LSU guys, and it's just like they should have been in this position for years and years. And there's no reason why LSU can't be in Alabama. If we're speaking
I think maybe
their players they had. There's no reason they can't.
I don't think Baton Rouge is a worse place to be than Tuscaloosa. I mean, it's a little bit in the middle of nowhere, but you can recruit. You got all that New Orleans pipeline. There's some guys that can ball in Louisiana. So I agree. But, I mean, they're always in the national contention. But, yes, they could jump. They could be a Clemson or an Alabama, like you said.
Yeah, but being in national contention is different than actually being, been talked about, like guys want to go there, or people are already penciling you in to be in the playoffs, you know what I mean, essentially. Like that. So this is LSU like everyone's been expecting for a while, and I'm glad Edo got them over the hump. I read a great article on Edo stories.
Oh, they were all over the place this week. They were great.
Yeah, they were great. I already loved Edo, and I just took my notch a little bit higher and much higher. Now you mentioned the USC thing. USC messed up by not keeping it around, but I don't know if he would have been like USC's guy though. They're like
they would have had a toughness though, like that USC kind of needs. I think in the Pac-12 that would have run the Pac-12 being a tough team.
You're not wrong, but I think LSU. I think like you said, God had a plan for him, and LSU is the perfect spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like we said, I think my favorite story from Edo this weekend was where he said, like, son, the day I can't whoop somebody's ass is the day I don't get out of bed. That was, like, the best quote I think that came out of everything.
I was off of that, and I was a story about him and Joe Burrow.
The crawfish story?
Yeah, going to a restaurant and ordering crawfish, even though the restaurant didn't sell crawfish. And then both eating 15 pounds of crawfish together. It's ridiculous. And then I saw another story. I guess we'll get on the rant right now. Saw another story that he went like an in-home visit for recruiting. He ate 5 bowls of gumbo.
Hey man, I could just imagine like a good old Southern mama just like, oh, I like this man. He keep eating my gumbo. My boy's gonna be fed.
That's exactly what one of the recruits says. He's like, the thing about him is he wins over the moms, and if recruiting, that's 100% what a key ceiling factor.
Yeah, that's it. Mama usually says where you're allowed to decide between.
Yeah, mom can approve on the place, and you're like, okay, yes, that's great. Sorry though.
So that was perfect. But Clemson didn't look so sharp tonight. Lawrence got a little. I mean, he looked a little uncomfortable tonight for the first time, I think, in a long time.
Yeah, I would agree there. I mean, I wouldn't say they looked bad or anything like that. I think they had a great game plan. But like I would say he looked off. Like he probably saw some things he's never seen before, and it's a good team. So sometimes it happens like that. And again, we forget he's still young, still sophomore.
He's only a sophomore.
So I mean. A sophomore.
I think the speed was the biggest difference tonight. Like Clemson normally is more athletic. I mean, they're faster than everybody in the ACC, and they were as fast as Ohio State. And I think LSU was just as fast as Clemson. That kind of caught them a little bit off guard, and it was a little bit of the opposite of what we saw from Clemson in the semifinal. Like they came out slow, and then they were just master of adjustments and killed it. And it was kind of the opposite. They started off really strong. They had a great game plan to open up on defense and offense to attack LSU, and then they really kind of didn't adjust. Because wasn't it 17-10, I think, Clemson was winning, and then LSU kind of never looked back after that.
Yeah, that was it. Overall, though, I was very pleased with the national championship game and the quality we got. I think I could definitely expect both these teams to come back, run it back. I think the biggest question for LSU is who's going to be the man under the helm.
Yeah, for them. And you got to imagine a lot of guys are going to declare for the draft too. On top of that, you win the Natty, you have a good show out. So,
well, yeah, but again, like we said, it's LSU though, so they should
have a guy. The quarterback is the biggest issue.
Quarterback is. I think they'll be able to replace some of those. I mean, obviously they won't have the receivers that they have right now. I'm sure one of those receivers might come back. But I'm sure they got guys in the chambers ready to rock and roll. And then when you kind of see something like that happen in front of you, you want to go do it again because you want to do it for yourself. You'll probably get the national championship because you're on the team, but it's so much different than actually playing it and then being on the sidelines and actually playing it. So I think they'll be able to reload Clemson too. Obviously they'll have Lawrence back. They'll probably lose ETN and probably one of those receivers or so, or both receivers, but. No, they'll be back. They'll both be back.
They're gonna lose a little bit on defense. I saw a way too early top 25 from somebody, and it was Clemson, Ohio State, and then 4 SEC West teams in the top to round out the top 6. So, just kind of fun to look at right there. It was Auburn, LSU, Bama, and A&M rounding out the top there. So it was like I thought that was a little generous for A&M, but it just shows you the SEC West is going to be very, very tough next year.
Totally agree. Saban's not gonna have two lackluster.
Yeah, lackluster season, 2-loss season, very lackluster under Nick.
But I think this is a great bow in college football, and this is a great way to wrap it up. Very excited again for LSU, Joe Burrow, and Ed Orgeron and what they've done there. And I do want to say this: Scott Woodward, the old Texas A&M AD, he made the jump at the right time to go to LSU.
Just got that cheapy national championship.
He made the jump at the right time. He left us in good hands, though. He did hire Jimbo and Buzz Williams, but he made the jump at the right time.
True. So you can't be mad.
He knew it was up. Yeah, he knew he can't be mad. Maybe a smart man. He saw the opportunity. He jumped on it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, but now let's move to the NFL because we had the divisional round this weekend. We have our Final Four set.
The nerves I had on this past Sunday are ridiculous.
Oh, let's get into this game because it was something.
Let's just get into it, and I'll just talk about the nerves I had for this game to start. I try to play cool. I casually get into the game. I don't watch it. I don't watch the game the pregame stuff. I clicking on right when it starts.
You don't want to hype yourself. You don't psych yourself out.
I don't psych myself out. I might miss the opening kickoff. But yeah, this game got out, and I was like, okay, the Texans got the ball first, and they scored. So I was like, okay, that's fine. They scored.
And it was a nice play. It was a nice third down little. Yeah. They kind of went deep on third and short.
Like every time someone says you look at them and they tap their chest like my bad, like I'm okay. It's a blown coverage and we understand what happened, and it's okay. But the Chiefs get the ball back and then Kelsey drops the pass on third down, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I would get a little tense. It's like, okay, we're giving them the ball right back, So not only did we
didn't give him punt, you didn't give him the ball right back.
You get the ball right back. And every time, I don't know what happens, but every time the
camera's behind the kicker,
how goes behind the kickers, they block the punt. It's like they know it's coming. I don't know. Like I know it's a delay, but you can't delay it that. Like it's not that much of a delay to to use that camera. But because it happened with the Patriots too. Like the camera was behind, and then they go ahead and block the punt, and I'm like, oh man. This is bad.
I was in a lot better spirits than you would, obviously, because it's not my team.
I wasn't in good spirits at all. And then
you text me, you were like, not happy. Let's just put it this way, people. He was not happy.
Not happy at all. And then I'm holding. I'm like, okay, well, anyways, if they go down, they get the ball back. They go down 17-14. Very much.
It's fine. You trust your offense. If anything, you trust the offense.
Exactly. So they get the ball. They move the ball. They make they move the ball, make a play, get around to the 40, get to a third down situation, and the guy Mahomes kind of throws it behind him.
Robinson dropped the ball. They were dropping balls left and right.
Yeah, Robinson dropped the ball on third down. I was like, crap. Okay. Well, anyways, punt the ball. Got this punt off. Anyways, so speed up. They actually get a stop. They get a sack. Frank Clark, which I was on early in the year. I was kind of on him, not stepping up. He's been playing great football lately.
Big difference.
Any reason we need a spark, I guess, or something happens. Tyreek Hill talks himself into returning the punt. He goes back to catch the punt. He muffs it. And then the Texans get the ball back on the 6-yard line. Anyways, the Texans score. It's 21-0. And then essentially the Chiefs go 3-and-out again. At this point, I'm done watching the football game. I'm not watching.
He's quit. He's quit in the group message.
I've quit. I'm watching this movie called Gifted, and it's a great movie with Chris Evans, the guy, Captain America. Anyways, that goes on. And I see they set up for a field goal on 4th and 1, which I think was a mistake by Bill O'Brien. Supposedly he didn't have his stuff together. He calls a timeout.
The spot was also very suspect on that play. He could have challenged the spot. He called the timeout. He should have just challenged it because he may have gotten it a fourth. It was 4th and 1, and then probably should have been 4th and an inch. It was a very poor spot. But and then Riley in the group message says, "Well, Titans-Texans is going to be a boring game," and then Peter fired in that group message, "Plenty of time. Let's not work. Plenty of time left."
And then from there on, I'm still not watching the game, Pete. I'll let you take this over because I wasn't watching the game. But I knew I wasn't watching the game, but I was still following the game on my phone. I was refreshing every 30 seconds.
So Terrell's not watching the game. So I said, I'll text them if it gets interesting. And he's like, okay. So then Pat Mahomes does Pat Mahomes things, and he walks right back down the field, gets himself a touchdown. All right, 24-7. The crowd's starting to pick it up. It's like, okay, 24-7. We need a stop on defense. They get a stop on defense. Houston has a 4th and 4 at their own 31. And Bill O'Brien, in his infinite wisdom, this man is a genius. He might be the smartest person I ever know. Decides to run a fake punt at his own 31, up 24-7 on the road in a playoff game in the second quarter. And of course, the Chiefs stop said fake punt. And so now the Chiefs are getting a little rocking. The crowd's rocking. And then what does Mahomes do? He punches that thing right back into the end zone. Oh, 24-14. Okay, this is a little interesting. Houston comes down, 3-and-out. Kansas City. Oh no, they fumble the kickoff.
Yeah,
Houston fumbles. Houston then fumbles the kickoff at the 3-yard line.
Dirty Dan again. I don't want to forget. He has 2 big special teams plays by him.
And you were a little worried about him playing, if I recall. Last week.
I was like, well, he's a little suspect at times, but yeah, he's been playing good.
So they fumble the kickoff. Houston. It looks like Houston's going to get a stop. Kansas City's got a 3rd and goal, and then Mahomes magic again. Mahomes rolls out, extends the play, and he finds Travis Kelce in the end zone. Touchdown Chiefs. Holy shit. It's 24-21. We're still in the second quarter, folks. We don't know what's going on. And Terrell is like, oh, let's go. Oh, he's like, should I turn this game back on? And I was like, yes. He's like, I'm kind of superstitious. I'm like, okay. He's like, all right, you said you'll wait till halftime. Houston then does nothing. And then what happens again? My man Mahomes magic, pushes him in the end zone again with 44 seconds left in the quarter. And the Chiefs now have scored 28 unanswered points in the second quarter in the NFL divisional round. And they are leading at halftime because the Texans got the kickoff 44 seconds, get into field goal range, but of course, they've just surrendered a 24-0 lead. So you know this kicker is not making this field goal, and it is not even close. So the Chiefs go in with a 28-24 halftime lead, and then they never looked back. I believe they scored 41 unanswered, Terrell, is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right. 41 unanswered.
41 unanswered, 51-7 in the last 3 quarters. So if you take away that first quarter where they were down 24-0, 51-7. Man, the Chiefs look great.
Yeah, they did. I thought Andy Reid was gonna.
I knew it was coming. It was like Andy Reid, playoff Andy Reid again.
Yeah, I told you. I warned you. I was like, Bill O'Brien might not beat us, but Andy Reid might beat his own team. And I told you the only person who won't let Andy Reid beat the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Ravens-Titans game. Nobody gave the Titans. I mean, I guess we kind of gave the Titans a little bit of chance. We both took the Titans getting 9 points because we thought it was going to be a low-scoring, ugly game. The Titans came out fast, scored 14 points real quick, were super aggressive, and man, the rush showed on the Ravens, down 14-0, and I think this was just a perfect, so many things to talk about in this game. The Ravens never got into it. Lamar couldn't do anything. Tennessee did a great job. They stacked 1,000 guys in the box like I knew they would. I've watched Tennessee a lot this year just because of fantasy matchups, and nobody can run up the middle on this team, and Baltimore was insistent on trying to run up the middle on these guys, and they couldn't do anything. They got 2 fourth down and 1 stuffed because they didn't go to the outside. Lamar was frustrated. He looked rusty. I mean, this is why I don't really personally like sitting guys week 17 if you have a bye, just because of the rust. And you can't come off of 2 weeks of not playing football and expect to play at football or playoff speed and intensity, because the Titans, if they're anything, they're intense. They're going to beat you up. They play bully ball, as I like to call it. You know, they just bully you. I think they ran Henry another 32 times for 200-plus yards. He's a freak. I don't know what they fed that child, but he looks like he drank, steroids out of the tap when he was a young kid, and he's a monster. So I think they said the first player ever to have 180-yard games 3 straight weeks in a row, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, he had a 30 for 195, and that's ridiculous. That is truly ridiculous. Yeah, Derrick Henry is a problem, a big problem at that. Very large human. Yeah, I didn't watch much of this game because, like I said, I was in Portland and watching with the Trailblazers game. But I saw glimpses of this game, and yeah, you said the Titans jumped out early, and I think they just really hit the Baltimore in the mouth. They just seemed lackluster. They didn't know what to do, and offense, it seemed smooth.
A lot of drop passes. They were dropping a lot of drop passes.
And like you said, I don't know. I tried to do some research today and try to see who's sit the last 2 weeks recently. And from the looks of it, it looks like many teams haven't done that.
They're usually really playing for seeding spots, or
usually playing for seeding spots late in the year. Or in that case, so it makes it different. But it makes them play, and I think that might be something you look forward to. I mean, look, maybe the people in the other division, you want them to play really well so your team doesn't sit, 2 weeks.
Especially as like a young team. Like, it's not like Baltimore's an old team; they're a super young team. So it's not like they just need the reps. They don't need the rest. Like an old team like the Patriots, God, they love those. Those extra days off, maybe. You can give it to them because the body's breaking down and stuff. But
and it's all about. I'm not gonna Jim Harbaugh. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was a great coach. But like Bill Belichick might be able to do that, or Tom Brady might be able to do it, or the Patriots way might be able to do that because they know how to prepare for games. And Jim's won a Super Bowl, so he knows how to prepare for games. I'm not gonna say that him, but it goes back to, like you said, being a young team and maybe some
Second-year quarterback.
Second-year quarterback, and different things like that. And some guys maybe not like Hollywood Brown. No, it's first time his playoff game. Willie Snead, I don't think he's ever really been in a playoff game. And Mark Andrews, they were in a playoff
Yeah.
game last year and different things like that. But just that type of difference between being able to take 2 weeks off and still staying engaged, prepared, and ready to go play football, versus a team who's been playing the last week or so, last 2 weeks, and it's kind of fresh
I mean,
in the
the
group.
Titans have been fighting for their lives, it feels like, for the last 4 weeks of the regular season. They were trying to scrape, trying to get dubs.
And that's all I needed really was that confidence from beating the Patriots. And like now they think, then the Titans go in there and they have nothing to lose. Like they literally don't have anything to lose. They're not supposed to be here. If they lose, oh well, that's a great season. Like, you beat the Patriots and you made it to the divisional round. Like, but no, they're out for blood, and like they're just playing carefree and free. I mean, and free. So
I definitely think Baltimore overlooked them a little bit. Their game plan did not look great. Baltimore's. So people came out of the woodworks bashing Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had an unbelievable season, but it's right to criticize him. He's now lost 2 home playoff games and looked bad in both home playoff games. Maybe he's not a good big-time player. Maybe he just get them play good in the big games. Never had great bowl numbers either. I went back and looked at his bowls in college, and I don't know if he can, we bash on Kirk Cousins all the time about not being able to win the big games. I don't know if Lamar can win a big game now with 2 home playoff losses to start his career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, it's the only thing going in his favor is that he's young still.
That is true.
So,
but how long does it last? I mean, and here's.
Go ahead.
Let me I asked for it all year, right? I want to see if Baltimore can come back when they get behind on somebody. And they didn't have to do it all year because they were great offensively. And then they got behind early and they couldn't do it because Lamar's limited as a thrower. Whereas you see the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, who is a freak of nature with his arm, you come back from 24 like it was nothing. It's like he almost did it. They almost did it for fun. Kansas City, it felt like let's let him score 24 on us and then we'll play.
Going back to Lamar, like I said, the only thing he's got going for him is he's young, and he's got a chance to prove himself that that's not who he is. So right now that might be the stereotype, and I don't want to put that on him yet because, like I said, he's young.
But it's well earned. It's not like he's played poorly in those games.
If someone says that, I'm not gonna fight tooth and nail, but I don't want to put that so far on him. Because he's young and it's early in his career. Now, if we get to year 4 and 5 and that's the same case, then that'll be the.
It'll definitely be a thing. If he does it next year, if they have another bye and he loses another first round, a game off the bye,
then that's rightfully so to do. But I'm gonna hold off a year and see what happens next year, and then we'll reassess how we feel about playoff Lamar. But so far, right now, it's not great. I heard a great analogy, like how to feel about the Ravens, how they were this year. They're like the Houston Rockets of the NFL, have a great regular season, then get to the playoffs and they just don't show up.
It runs out. Analytics go against you at this point.
Yeah, something like and I mean and then maybe that was just they've been on a roll for so long, and then this was the game they fell down and didn't play as well, and it sucks that happens in the playoffs. Anyways, you want to get to your heartbreak?
Yeah, we can move to the NFC now. And Saturday was tough for me. It was the first game, Vikings at the Niners, and you know what? The game was 14-10 at half. It wasn't great, but I did not have a good feeling watching this game. And San Francisco, man, they're just freaking good. They're so physical up front. They got their pass rush back with D Ford up the middle to add to that pass rush. They controlled both lines of scrimmage. We couldn't stop their run. When we made Jimmy G drop back and throw the ball, we got after him. We sacked him 3 times, and we picked him off with unbelievable play by Eric Kendricks to kind of almost swing the game. The game was 14-7, and the Niners had the ball, and we picked them off inside the 30, so it was a huge momentum swing right before the half, but we couldn't get 7. Kirk Cousins did not play well, really. He kind of crunched up under the pressure. The offensive line was dog shit. They're horrible. They're an embarrassment. I call it all year that this was going to be our downfall, and they were. They're pathetically bad. The receivers really couldn't get open. Cousins didn't want to take risks. We couldn't run the ball at all. We ran for nine rushes for 18 yards with Dalvin Cook. It was the 23rd ranked rushing defense in San Francisco, and we couldn't run the ball. So it was a lot of that, and they rolled in the second half. We couldn't really stop them. We muffed a punt. It was just bad. It felt like they kind of, again, big win against the Saints, kind of let down. But I would definitely say if the Niners felt like the better team, they're so tough to stop up front. They're so deep and talented, and if the way you beat them is you make Jimmy G throw. So I was a little disappointed, but I wasn't devastated. It does come to this though. This is the last 2 times Minnesota's lost a playoff game, laid an egg, and blown out. Our offensive coordinator's been hired as a head coach, interviewed and then hired the same week of the game. And I'm starting to I had to do a little research. I hate this rule. Why do they get to interview my coordinator a week of a playoff game? Those are 9-hour interviews. Do you have any idea how in-depth those interviews are? You have to have a full plan for this new team, look at the roster, your ideas for your coaching staff, all this stuff. And any second spent not preparing for a playoff game is, doing that stuff is waste of time. He had a 9-hour interview on Thursday, Kevin Stefanski, before going to Frisco on a short week. We had a short week on top of it. So I did some digging, and it seems like most of the coaches that have had a job in the bag have laid an egg the next week when they've played. Like Matt Patricia in the Super Bowl against the Eagles had the Lions job, egg. Doug Peterson, I don't know if you remember this, with the Chiefs, laid an egg on offense against the Steelers in the divisional round. Zach Taylor in the Super Bowl with the Rams, total egg. It was a pretty long list. Kyle Shanahan blew the largest lead in Super Bowl history after it was known he was getting the San Francisco job. So I'm not saying it's a thing necessarily, but what's so hard about making these teams wait an extra 4 weeks, 5 weeks to interview or hire a guy? Like, I don't get it.
Well,
if we had lost, why couldn't they interview him this week? Is it that important to get your guy this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just on this point, because if you keep waiting, one thing is you're gonna lose out on your assistance pool. So you're already off on a bad foot, and then you gotta want to interview everybody because you got to see who's right. And it sucks. It happens to be at the time that you're also game planning for a job, but you can't keep waiting because again you're gonna you might miss out or different things like that. And these other the other teams, they've jumped the gun. They've already got your guy and different things like that. It sucks. I understand where you're coming from. It sucks from your standpoint, but I will say this for the Vikings, from the Vikings standpoint this year, they've got a special advisor, right? Kubiak, whatever his role is there.
They about to be offensive coordinator.
About to be offensive coordinator. They should be able to hold the fort down on a Thursday for whatever. Now, my question is, does he miss practice, or how does this work?
They practiced early on Thursday, and he spent the rest of the day interviewing with Cleveland and that night in Minnesota.
Cleveland, and so they came to him.
Yes, but okay. So they already changed the rules for Josh McDaniels that you're allowed to sign. Stop it. You can wait. I'm okay with actually interviewing coaches on a bye week. You go interview on a coach on a bye week. It's just he's calling plays. And he knows he's got the job. Like, everyone kind of knew he had the job because Josh McDaniels interviewed the next day and left Cleveland. Once he left, it was like, okay, they're hiring Stefanski. It was pretty much he was their guy. So you don't want to say maybe it's in the back of your mind a little bit. Your mind's kind of in two places at once. It's like, oh man, I got to call these guys, tomorrow. I know this job. Obviously you're going to be committed to winning a Super Bowl and stuff, but it's like, it's human nature to not think about a million different things you got to do with your new job and your new team that you're getting. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you here. I just think that
it's just 5 weeks. Let's just wait 5 weeks. It's a month. Who cares?
I don't think it's going to be. Unfortunately for you, I don't think it's a rule that's going to change.
I've heard some chirps.
Okay, maybe it might change. Just the nature of it is just that you've got to get this implemented really quickly and everything. But it is a weird deal to be applying for a job. But that's like anything else in the world. Like we apply for our jobs while we still have another job most of the
Yeah, but
time.
you're also not coach. Yeah, but you also most people underperform at their current job if they're getting a new job. They're not trying to go to a Super Bowl. It's not, I mean, understand. It's like one of the most you can't say like being a coordinator in the NFL is one of the most time consuming and focus oriented jobs. I mean, there is.
Yeah, but and you're not wrong. But you're like I said, you're not doing it alone.
But
You're
it's.
I mean, you're really not. There's other people.
But you don't need the head start. It's not like you need the head start. The team that wins the Super Bowl doesn't start on next year till after they win the Super Bowl. It's not like you're at a massive disadvantage to anybody. Like, why couldn't they just interview him this week? Like, we lost. So what? Like, you don't want to put the word out there in the locker room and stuff like that. It's just like, guys, there's a lot of guys in the locker room. Who knows what people think, It's not like we have the most, there's a large array of people in the NFL. Guys think, guys talk. And it's like, I don't want any of that stuff out there, And it was just interesting to see that there was a lot of people that have also struggled when said things, they've had the job already lined up, their new job, and they've struggled as a coordinator at their previous job. But I'm not gonna argue that we should have won the game. San Francisco was a better team. But
that's unfortunate.
It was just
maybe they should have gave the job to Robert, whatever, the guy from the DC from the 49ers.
No, yeah, Saleh, yeah. So maybe, but it's Cleveland. Cleveland's never gonna make the right decision. I'm not super worried. Kubiak's probably gonna be the offensive coordinator next year, and his son will be heir apparent.
But yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the hire for the Browns? Like to me,
it's a very mediocre hire. His play calling, he had good play calling in spots and bad play calling in other spots.
Last year?
No, what?
Was he? No, he wasn't getting fired last year.
No, he got promoted.
Promoted, okay.
He took over for John DeFilippo, who got fired in Jacksonville already.
Who just got fired? Yeah.
But he was a Vikings assistant for 14 years. He was the longest tenured Viking coach. So it's one of those things. He was just kind of started as like a grad assistant or whatever, intern guy, and worked his way up. And the Browns, he almost got the job last year with the Browns. He was their number 2 finisher to Freddie Kitchens. So
yeah. So, anyways, then why even interview him? Just say, hey, we want to give you the job.
I know, because they're the Browns, and they have to, I don't know. Don't ask questions about the Browns. We're not trying to scratch our heads and make our heads hurt. But let's go to the other NFC playoff game. We don't have to talk much about this. The Packers beat the Seahawks. I was disgruntled because I hate the Packers. It felt like the Packers just hung on. Russell Wilson was playing with absolutely nothing, and his team is shit. The team they had out there, the Seahawks, was shit. And damn it, Russell Wilson is so good at football to make this even a close game. And then, of course, Green Bay gets a very, very, very generous spot to put the game away at the end there. And it just feels like they can hang. It just felt like they hung on, right? They survived, Green Bay.
Yeah, I told you this was what it was gonna happen, and
but that was bad. I didn't think it was gonna be that egregious. That was pretty bad, that spot. And then uphold it. Oh my god.
I said Rodgers is gonna get a call. Because I listened to the pod earlier. Yeah. I said Rodgers is gonna get a call. Rodgers is gonna make a play.
Cool moment though in this game. Shaquem Griffin got that sack on Rodgers with Shaquille. That was cool.
That was really a cool moment. I was really excited. That was right before. That's how Russell got the ball back.
Yeah,
right?
It was a clutch sack on third down. Yeah, and for those who don't know, Shaquem and Shaquille Griffin, twins, both played at UCF. Shaquem had his hand amputated, so he's got one hand out there running around. He had the little cover on his nose, but that was awesome. He got that beautiful inside stun, him and his brother. So I thought that was just a really cool moment for those two.
That was a very great moment. Not excited the Packers are going to the NFC Championship game. And usually what that means, if I'm not excited about it, and that means that they're probably going to win.
No. San Fran waxed them already. I don't see them not waxing them again.
Okay, but like with my luck, that's usually how things go in life.
I think life's going to be good. We're going to get a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl, I think, and I'll be happy.
Also, but I've heard the first, NFL 100, the 100th year, the first Super Bowl ever was Chiefs-Packers. So
it was.
That could be a good play into the whole NFL 100. Like, that's like kind of... whatever.
I think
Fox wants. I think they want 49ers Chiefs.
I was begging though because it was 50th year anniversary since the Chiefs won their Super Bowl in Super Bowl IV against the Vikings. I was paying for a redemption match. We call them running it back 50 years later.
Only if the Chiefs got to win it.
Yeah, no. Revenge is a dish best served long term and cold. But anyway, Let's pick these games. Let's do AFC Championship game is the first game on Sunday at 2. Chiefs 7.5-point favorites. You like the Chiefs to cover?
Oh man, crap, 7.5 points. I can't.
He can't. I like it. Good with you.
I can't.
I told you last week they were gonna cover. Chiefs are gonna cover again. Easy.
You have way more faith.
I told you. I know you hated it. I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs. I think they're in perfect spot to win the Super Bowl.
I know, and the Titans thing scares me because Derrick Henry would probably run legit for 250 yards. But I go back because I'm gonna take the Ravens game out of it and look at the Patriots game. He ran for a lot of yards, but they only scored 14 points. And the Patriots should have probably won that game. If Edelman doesn't drop the pass on second and 6 or whatever, it's a totally
for 40
game.
yards or whatever. So, 30 yards. It was a big chunk.
Andy Reid, he doesn't care about run defense. He's like, you can run the ball all day, but it doesn't put
just
points
keep
on the
him
board.
out of the end zone and trade threes because Mahomes going to put up 7s. The worst part of Tennessee's defense is their secondary.
Yeah,
they're going to run right by him.
I thought it was really good. For some reason I thought that back end was really good. Anyways.
No, their front 7's really good. Tennessee's stop the run.
Okay, I think is one of those things that the Chiefs take the ball first, and then they go score. Obviously, they're gonna run the ball, whatever happens, and then they score again. So if they get up 14, because
make Tannehill throw, make Tannehill beat you.
Make Tannehill, yeah, for sure. I think the Chiefs really got to get up 21 for them to really make Tannehill throw. I think if it's still a 14-point game, I think the Texans will still try to run the ball.
All right,
but anyways, I'm not taking that. I think we got our next one. It's San Fran minus 7.5.
Wait. We got to do the over-under. We're doing over-unders this week. Over-under 52. Right. Are we going over? Or are we going under 52 points scored in this game?
On the bet. 52 is – I got to do the mental math in my head real quick.
Chiefs-Texans were the first game to hit the over, by the way, in the playoffs, this entire playoffs.
52 would be like saying the Chiefs scored 35 and the Texans scored 21. I am taking the over.
You're taking the over.
That gives me 56. Yeah, I'm taking it over. I think it's a high scoring game. The Chiefs' run defense is horrible.
I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under.
Okay. Okay, cool. So
Chiefs win this game 34-17. Let's move to the night game. NFC Championship game. Same line, right? Like you said, 7.5 for the Niners. Who you taking?
I got the 7.5. That's a lot. That's not a lot, but it is a lot. That's a whole. They got a touchdown, and I gotta get something else. That's the thing. That's they put that half point there.
That's the point.
I can't even get the push if they get the 7. Gosh, Rodgers not at home though.
No,
they might not give him. They might not give him that Rodgers treatment. But he's known that he buddies up the refs and talks to them all the time. I don't know. I'm gonna take the Packers here.
All right, I don't hate it. Packers can't stop the run. I think the Niners crush it down their throat. I saw nothing from their first matchup that showed me they could even compete with this team. So I'm taking the Niners. I like both teams to cover with 7.5-point home favorites. All right, over under for this game 45 points. Do you like the over or the under?
Going over again.
Yeah, I am too. That seems way too low.
The only way Green Bay stays in it is because they score.
If we get in a shootout.
You get a shootout, yeah. So I guess if I can take Green Bay, I gotta take the over too to be for it to really work out for myself.
All right. Last pick'em we're gonna do this week. Conor McGregor makes his return to the octagon this weekend against Cowboy Cerrone. They're fighting at 170, I believe. So who do you taking McGregor because he's the big name?
Yeah, I'm taking McGregor. Probably won't watch this fight. But I just thought it'd be fun for us to bet it. I mean, since we're getting to that
time where football's over.
I don't know what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do next week? We're gonna bet on the Pro Bowl, or what? We're gonna do a bunch of over unders to see.
We're gonna Super Bowl prop bet. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna Super Bowl prop bet.
Okay, Super Bowl prop bet. It's a little early for Super Bowl. Okay, I guess we have to kind of do it.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
We'll figure it out. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. We'll worry about the production stuff later. Yeah, I got McGregor though.
I think I like Cowboy Cerrone, especially if it goes the distance. Conor's went up in weight to fight in this. I don't know if he's gonna have the stamina to last. So if it goes the distance, I like Cerrone. But Conor does have that big knockout factor going for him. So. But I'm going to take a little bit of the underdog. All right, last thing we got to hit on this week before we get to our normal stuff. The Astros got the hammer dropped on them by Major League Baseball for this cheating scandal. their general manager and their manager AJ Hinch was fired. They were suspended a year. The Astros were fined $5 million and forfeited draft picks, and then the Astros fired both their GM and their manager to try and start clean. And the word is Boston is next because Alex Cora was the hitting coach for the Astros in 2017. This was his brainchild. So word is he might be getting a lifetime ban. What do you think about that?
Lifetime ban?
That's what I heard because he's the mastermind for this, and he won 2 World Series. Dodgers and Yankees fans are pissed.
Man, imagine waking up and figuring out that you're going to get a lifetime ban. Imagine going to
sleep. It's like Pete Rose.
Lifetime ban.
I know.
Like, what is he going to do with this? Like,
I know. You went from being one of the hottest coaches in baseball, winning back-to-back World Series. One is, a hitting coach, one is a manager, and, oh, how the mighty have fallen. I don't know if they'll give him a lifetime ban, but it's true. They're saying this is one of the biggest scandals baseball's had. This is like 1919 Black Sox level stuff right here, this level of cheating.
Can you give us, the people, just a quick background story of the cheating and how they've done it? And
so,
just really quick.
Apparently, the Astros had slow-motion, high-resolution cameras in their center field wall, and they were relaying signals to the hitters based on what the catchers were signaling. So if a catcher was calling for an off-speed pitch, the Astros had a guy in the tunnel watching it on a monitor from this camera and signaling for an off-speed pitch, and then someone in the dugout would be banging on a trash can right before the pitch was coming out so the hitter would know it's an off-speed pitch. And there's some good video evidence of these things. Guys sitting, signaling it, you hear in the bang, here comes off-speed pitch, and the Astros hitter's sitting on it. And it's kind of a big deal. So that's a little background on that. So they were stealing signs, essentially. Nothing really wrong with stealing signs. A lot of stuff wrong with using a high-speed, high-res, slow-motion camera to steal signs live in-game as the pitch is coming.
Yeah. Pretty shitty. It's one thing to cheat, but once you take it to that level, it's different. I think it's not great to cheat either. But
competitive edge, as you would say.
Yeah, competitive. Yeah. Someone asked me, they said, well, can't you just do that by watching film? And I said, no. Watching film is figuring out more tendencies. Knowing what someone's going to do before they pitch it is a completely different
knowing
thing.
the pitch as it's being thrown because somebody is telling you what pitch is being thrown is a big help. Like, if a pitcher's, there's a difference between, because there was talk in that 17, because I was at the ALCS for the Astros Yankees, and there was word that there was a camera in center field, and they were stealing signs, and they were saying, in the World Series in Game 7, Yu Darvish was tipping his pitches, they said. They said Severino was tipping his pitches against the Astros last year in the playoffs. No.
That's what it was.
That's my point also. Why is Jose Altuve sitting on a changeup from Aroldis Chapman on a 2-1 count in the bottom of the 9th inning in Game 6 of an ALCS? Aroldis Chapman throws 150 miles an hour. You're never going to sit off speed high, and Jose Altuve was sitting off speed. So none of the players got in trouble.
Did they interview the players?
Yeah, they got everybody. They said the players aren't at fault for what the coaches and stuff did and told them. Just, it was one of those.
Because it's kind of like you do what your coaches tell you.
Yeah,
right?
or you just like, you're not gonna take that information. It was shitty. It puts the Houston Asterisks and the Boston Cheat Sox we got going on right now, and it sucks because I kind of liked the Astros. My friends are Astros fans, and it's shitty. But now I got a different look at them when they do that, especially against my team.
Yeah. This is a real question because I always think. Do you think the owner actually fired them himself? You think he brought them both in the office and like, you guys are gone, or
probably
send them an email?
No, something like this. He said, "You're gone. We got to start fresh. This is we're not." I like the move, honestly. Like, by the owner to say, because MLB suspended him for a year, and the owner said, "Nah, we're not gonna have any of this more nonsense. Like, I want to win with a clean one." Let's get to who balled out for you this week, T.
Ball of the week, my man, Travis Kelce. He held it down for the Chiefs. Came in clutch. Started off the game really shaky. As we mentioned, he had to drop pass, but then he came back. He had 10 receptions for 134 yards and 3 touchdowns. My colleague here, Pete, you wanted me to give it to Mahomes. Mahomes played a great game, but Kelce was the X factor. I think Lonnie Johnson had a long I think he's very happy that this game is over and he won't have to see Travis Kelce again until next year, and hopefully he won't have to see him because someone else they'll be healthy and have to put someone else on him. But he gave Lonnie Johnson all the work he ever wanted in life.
All right, I'm gonna go same game, doghouse. Obviously, Bill O'Brien, my man. You blew a 24-point road lead in one quarter, but you couldn't even get to halftime with the lead, guy. The fake punt, the game's 24-7, and the fake punt, you could feel the emotion coming, and you let the crowd get into it and all this stuff. Let Mahomes be fired up. It's just poor coaching. Deshaun Watson deserves better than you. Honestly, he really does. They win in spite of you.
It was really tough watching that game, honestly, because I liked, how much I really liked Deshaun Watson, but obviously he was going against my Chiefs, and then it's like I wanted him to do well, but at the end of the day, I wanted the Chiefs to win. So something had to give, and I'm glad the right one gave, and that was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's gonna do it for us this week. Terrell, I'm gonna see you this weekend, aren't I?
Yeah, we'll try to put something together for. I don't think we can live stream.
We could try. We'll see. We'll do a
Titans
little.
game.
We might be live streaming.
I don't think I can handle that. You guys can eek, yell, cuss, and say a bunch of things that should be put out on TV. So
it's raw, baby.
No, maybe we should do it for the 49ers Packers games for sure, and then y'all can see what my life thoughts are.
And we could but we're definitely gonna record after the games for next week's episode.
Yeah, we'll record. We'll probably have some guest people, some guest speakers on or guest.
It's gonna be a bro weekend.
For a bro weekend, so we'll do something. We'll think of something that we could all talk about and and all that good stuff.
All right, so that's gonna do it for us this week, and we will see you all next week.